huge numbers of SCVs have been taken as casualties. Now the shuttle quite rightly retreats again, and yes, I do believe we had a lot of SCVs go down. Now we do have the Forge and the Citadel and the Stargate going up, so, and the Templar Archive, so we are seeing some serious tech. Shell taking far from that missile turret there. Looks as if more Zealot bombs were going down in the area. No, it was a Dragoon bomb, I do apologise. Just trying to take down this force. Another Dragoon goes down there to the siege tank fire. Once again, it looks as if Lomo is now moving out just with a few vultures. I think if you are going out for a vulture harass, you do obviously want to have 3 vultures just so you can get that one-hit kill on the workers. Are they going? Yes, they do. Just one vulture manages to get by, but no, it gets off no shots on the economy before it is able to. That one mine just by the assimilator there, hopefully that will be spotted by an observer and taken down, and hopefully it won't take any probes out during a probe transfer. As you can see, we've just had a flurry of tech buildings on the side of Tempest. I think he's probably resigned himself to not being, and now we see the Arbiter Tribunal as well, so he knows he can't break through the front door, so instead he's just going to recall straight in, and that of course will not be good for Lomo, as he has all his forces positioned defending that expansion there, whereas if there's a recall into the main at a time like this, it will be big trouble. Pylon going down there. Looks as if another expansion is going to try and be taken to Tempest. But the thing is, it's going to take so long for those Arbiters to come out into that. I'm sure any of you who have played against Protoss or even do play as Protoss just know that Arbiters take years and years and years. And there is the KTF mascot that my good friend Parks, commiserations to you, my friend, was talking about. Now going for a much more vulture heavy force there on the part of Lomo. Very nice, going for a tech switch. He knew those Zealot bombs would be able to damage his tank line quite severely, so now going for definitely a more vulture based build. Dragoons moving in slowly but surely, trying to take down as many mines as they can, slowed down by the mines, but soon they will be in range of the tanks, and they need to actually be attacking the tanks rather than getting preoccupied with all these mines, because otherwise they will just be shell to hell. Looks as if the observer went down there to that missile turret, and with this and with that proxy missile turret in that middle ground, that will put things so much in favour of Lomo. Lomo will be able to hold that ground with so little difficulty, and now with siege tanks supporting, trying to come in and take down this expansion. So if this expansion is lost and Lomo continues to hold the middle ground, it will not be good for Tempest whatsoever. He really needs to just hold and hold and hold until he can get Arbiters and do a recall in. If he is not able to do that, it will just be so bad for him. He is essentially playing the waiting game, just trying to be able to hold off his opponent for long enough to get those tech units up to be able to put out, but I don't think he's going to do it in time. As you can see, the front door of that expansion has been broken, now setting up even another Stargate, so definitely going for a very Arbiter heavy build, but it looks as if he's going to use a lot, and now just pumping Zealots madly to try and get forces over to defend this expansion before it will go down. Dragoons moving in now, but there are just vultures attacking the Nexus. There are siege tanks there acting as support for those vultures, and the Nexus goes down. The expansion has been lost. That is so bad for Tempest. He does not want that, although he has recently set up another expansion. It is just not good for him. Forces of Dragoons caught out of positions. A lot of them are probably going to go down to the mines, but no, there are enough of them to take down the mines before anything can come about of them. Now moving in with more Zealots, and now we have the first Arbiter. We need to see a textbook recall, people. If we do not see an absolutely textbook recall to get past the front door, it will just not go down. And oh, look at that huge concentration of siege tanks. That huge concentration of siege tanks is just absolutely massacring this Dragoon force, even with, oh, and now range upgraded Goliaths, taking down the forces. I think actually there the missile turrets had gone down, so a lot of those units were invisible to the eyes of Lomo, but nevertheless, wonderful anticipation from Lomo, bringing out the Goliaths, getting their range upgrade in time for the Arbiter, so that the Arbiter will be much less able to defend itself. It will be easily taken down by those Goliaths, and then that will be a fail for Lomo. He needs to get his forces out of there. He needs to get a stasis off. He needs to get a recall off. And now Lomo just right on the front door. Zealots coming in to try and attack the siege tanks. Lots of siege tanks going down to the friendly fire, but the Arbiter goes down. That was such a crucial piece of tech for Tempest. Everything was relying on that Arbiter, and I think that might have lost it for him. Now Lomo will continue to push forward, continue to build proxy missile turrets, continue to siege up right on his front door, and now moving in to actually take the ridge of his natural expansion. He will be able to shell the main, shell the gateways. Another Arbiter is out, but there's just no actual troops to support for that Arbiter to support, and now a siege tank finds the expansion. That is once again hideously unadvantageous. Looks as if there's a little proxy facility, but I think it's just too little too late. Another gateway warping in, maybe even acting as a slight blockade. Even probes having to come off the line to try and attack that siege tank. Tempest is just having to defend on all fronts, and that Arbiter is just, it's a support unit into there. It's a support unit. It's useless without anything there for it to be supporting. And now even with a missile turret built up on that ridge, that will provide the detection. Excuse me, internet. Thankfully, even a DT comes out there to defend that expansion. That's very, very intelligent, knowing that he does not have mobile detection, switching to DTs, but with all the proxy missile turrets, finally now we do see the stasis go off. Lots going down to the friendly fire there. Actually, now we do see some DTs coming out, and now some zealots moving in as well, charging in for the kill. Actually, no, they were just regular zealots under the stoke effect of the Arbiter. Sorry, my mistake there, internet. But there are still just more forces there, laying down mines, sieging up. This is terrible for Tempest. He's just got Terran forces all over his main base. He's just slowly getting completely ravaged by these forces. Once Lomo is able to move forward with more missile turrets and maybe even get a science vessel out, things will be so unadvantageous, once again taking damage on that Arbiter. Thankfully the shields did manage to soak most of that. Now once again this DT at the expansion trying to do its best. More DTs now at the expansion trying to do their best to hold off this Terran force. But this Terran force is more of a distraction to Tempest than anything, you know. It's a distraction to him. It looks as if there may actually be some detection in the area. Or no, a scan went off. That was it. A scan went off, which is why those vultures could see those DTs. And obviously, although the DT is a wonderfully powerful unit against vultures, which are specifically designed to take down those small units, it was just not that effective, especially once its stealth was revealed. But now we do see a slight counter-attack from Tempest. Now we see Tempest up in the expansion of Lomo, laying down some pressure on him, and it looks as if this sort of, for so long there, it was just unrelenting pressure on Tempest from Lomo. He had those siege tanks, those vultures, those Goliaths, those missile turrets right up in Tempest's face at his main base, and now sorry, once again internet, having a lot of problems with my throat at the moment. So the Dragoon force attacking is taken down. We've got that engineering bay in the area. Thankfully a nice little Dragoon ball has been built up, so finally the Arbiter does have units to support. Tempest trying to break back out. Another Arbiter comes down, but we need to see a big recall, internet. We need to see this force taken down, and then we need to see the reply. We need to see the reply of a recall inside Lomo's base. Lomo needs to take some economic damage from Tempest, otherwise he's in so much trouble. And now this bottom left expansion, which has been free for harassment for almost all the game, has finally been discovered by Lomo. So once again, every time Tempest has been setting up an expansion in a slightly odd position in order to try and avoid it from being seen, Lomo has found it, he has attacked it, and he has attacked it hard, and it has gone down. Finally this force on the ridge has been taken down, and finally Tempest is given just a little bit of room to be able to breathe, to be able to have time to try and rebuild his forces. But while he has managed to fend off the forces from his front door, now at his other expansion, and look at that face there from Tempest. He's actually chewing his nail then while still playing. That was so bad. You know, if a pro gamer does not have one hand on his mouse and the other hand on his keyboard, you know his heart is not in it. You know that this just unrelenting pressure, this just attacking of expansions, this attacking of the main, this attacking of everything, all these forward positions being taken will have just taken so much of a hold. Now a few lone DTs trying to get off some attacks, but now the mobile detection is out. And if EMP has been researched, then the Arbiters, which were the one thing going for Tempest, will be so unadvantageous. He sees the mobile detection and GG's. He knew with the science vessels out there it would render his Arbiters completely useless, and therefore the match belonged to Lomo. So 2-0 for Lomo, doing so good for Oz. Let's see what happens in part 3. Thank you for watching, Internet. Much love and good afternoon.